and Thune at noon with Mike Steely and Parker Thune. Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino calling line at 405-329-9000. Text the show on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, here's Mike Steely and Parker Thune.
Welcome in, everybody. Tuesday edition. Here we go, and we will be looking forward to your texts today on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. As always, 405-651-3439. I need to get squared up over here on the YouTube situation. And, of course, on the YouTube chat as well. You can just search on YouTube for KREF Sports, and you will find our homepage. You will see the logo with a little red around it, and just click on that, and you've got us live. You have to look at a young whippersnapper who looks pretty good, looks pretty young, and an old man that might frighten your children. But the content hopefully will be entertaining enough for you. Parker Thune, you were over at Pro Day, and what did you see over there? I heard Trace Ford looked really good. What else?
Trace Ford, Steely, has had an amazing Pro Day so far. And they're still over there, doing things, doing individual workouts and position-specific stuff and all of that. But Trace Ford had one of the most impressive Pro Days I can remember relative to expectations, right? Because you expect when you show up to Pro Day and you see a legit draft pick go through workouts, go through whatever drills they're going through if they haven't already done the bulk of their stuff at the NFL Combine, which is the case for Ethan Downs. He wasn't doing anything today. Danny Stutzman only did bench press.
They've already proven themselves, right?
Yeah, Billy Bowman wasn't doing anything.
Great days.
But Trace Ford, obviously, when we looked ahead to Oklahoma's Pro Day, nobody was talking about the performance that Trace Ford was going to put on. Nobody figured, okay, Trace Ford is a guy that's going to work his way onto NFL draft radars via his Pro Day performance. But he lit it up, man. 10-foot, 2-inch broad jump, which was an inch further than Billy Bowman, mind you. He had a 36-inch vert. He ran a 4.55 unofficial. Steely, a 4.55.
Now, did I hear that would have been the second best at that position?
Yeah, second only to James Pierce.
Pretty good. James Pierce from Tennessee, obviously, who is projected as a very high draft pick. So good for Trace Ford. He's a good dude. Started his career at Oklahoma State, ends up at Oklahoma. And we've had him in here through One Oklahoma. And really good guy. So good for him. Who else stood out today?
There were other guys that did certain individual drills well. Caden Woolard ran well. He clocked a 4.83, which, for a defensive end, that's pretty solid. In an overall sense, there was nobody that really jumped out at you other than Trace Ford. But there were other guys that, they're going to have a chance to land somewhere on a UDFA contract. They'll have a chance to prove themselves in NFL training camp. But I certainly think after what he did today, there will be conversation about Trace Ford in the late rounds among executives and front office personnel across the NFL.
Yeah, as Jimmy said on the YouTube chat, it looks like Trace Ford just made himself some money today. So good for him. By the way, you look at Pro Day, and what is your number one memory of a Sooner Pro Day? You've covered, about 5 of these now, or is it more than that?
Let me think. First one would have been 2019. So 7? 6 or 7?
I remember Baker's when he came in and, he whistled and all the receivers and everybody ran over there, and you could tell that Baker was completely in command. And I think we all knew that if you were watching Oklahoma football, he was in command of that locker room, but those teammates respected him so much. And Baker had an outstanding Pro Day. Sam Bradford had a great Pro Day. So, good for Trace Ford today. He has been the one that has stood out so far. Anybody have a rough Pro Day?
Michael Tarquin didn't have the greatest Pro Day, from what I could glean. Des Malone didn't have a great Pro Day. He only ran a 4.80, which for a cornerback, that's just there's no two ways about it, Steele. That's just bad, right? So there were certainly some guys that might have actively hurt their stock with their pro day performance, and Des Malone certainly, like, you run a 480, even programs, even NFL organizations that were interested at that point are going to look at that and go, no, we don't have nearly as high of an opinion of you as we once did.
Well, I can remember, wasn't there a controversy while Malcolm Kelly was here? Malcolm Kelly, I think, ran some slow 40 times, if I'm not mistaken, and I think he blamed it on the shoes and maybe on, like, the cleats or something that Jerry Schmidt gave him. Am I remembering that correctly? People, let me know. 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. And again, on the YouTube chat, we're live as well. So 405-651-3439. But there was a controversy with Malcolm Kelly, and I think it had to do with the shoes or the cleats, if I'm remembering correctly. But I'm an old man. My memory comes and goes. Got to take my Geritol, haven't had a full shot yet this morning, so you never know. By the way, on the YouTube chat today, instead of a poll question, we're asking you a generic question, and that question is this. What sport have you lost interest in over the last few years? Because sports have changed very much, no doubt about it, particularly collegiate sports. I'm guessing that there are going to be a lot of NBA responses in there. The NBA's woke, all that stuff. But for me, I don't know. I might go college basketball, actually, because there are probably two for me right now, college basketball and golf. Now, look, I still watch some golf, but the PGA Tour Live stuff created, worst finishing fields coming down the stretch on Sundays. Of course, I'll be tuned in and watching all of the major championships and the Players' Championship this weekend, all the big events, but still, it's just not the same. And college basketball, man, it was right there with college football as my favorite sport growing up, because you saw these teams stay together at least 3 years, unless you lost Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson or Isaiah Thomas, once that started happening somewhat. But you knew these stars year after year after year. And because of greed, of course, then that changed everything. And now college basketball, their rosters are changing every year. Just look what's happened with Porter Moser in Oklahoma and a lot of other schools across the country. So for me, it would be golf and college hoops. Now, I still watch both. I'm hoping we get a resolution to the PGA Tour Live thing. We can get great fields back on Sundays. And the indoor league, I'm not a big fan, to be honest. I think it's a little gimmicky. I'll watch Tiger when he plays. But make golf great again. McGuh. Instead of MAGA, McGuh. And is there anyone for you that maybe you've lost interest in somewhat over, say, the last 5 years or so?
I wouldn't say I've lost interest, because I can't really lose interest, Steely. It's my job to cover OU athletics. So certainly it's been less fun to cover certain sports. It's been less fun to cover men's basketball. Let's be honest. It's been less fun to participate in that whole experience than it was in the halcyon days of Trae Young and Austin Reeves and, more broadly, Lon Kruger, when they were making the NCAA tournament with regularity. And it looks like they're going to get there this year, right, which is a refreshing change, but haven't covered an NCAA tournament game since 2021 at this point.
You'll be covering it from your couch tomorrow night at 8. Well, that's an SEC tournament game, but yeah. By the way, and here is the answer. Malcolm Kelly had trained on AstroTurf for Pro Day, and then Pro Day was moved to the Everest indoor facility, which had field turf. So there you go. All right, 405-651-3439. 405-651-3439. Les Wilson says, pro basketball, I quit a long time ago. College basketball is going down quickly. Our friend Jody says he's lost all interest in the NBA. I lost interest in the league, not because it's woke, but because it's boring. No rivalries anymore. Everyone is friends. And the basis for super teams. Yeah, that's a good explanation. I can see that. I mean, Bird versus Magic, they saved the NBA. And it couldn't have come at a better time because, let's be realistic here. You had a white guy on the East Coast from a working class town like Boston. And then you had an African-American flashy dude going out to play in glitz and glamour L.A. And that made for a great rivalry. They saved the NBA. And then you had rivalries within the conferences too, like, what was the Jordan rules for the Pistons, right? Until Michael Jordan could solve Detroit, the Pistons were beating up on everybody. I mean, they had the audacity to basically Bill Laimbeer take down Larry Joe Bird. Then Bird fought the entire Pistons team. It was a different sport back then, so I can certainly see that. Certainly see that. Sooner Cowboys also says college football has super teams now. Yeah, in a way they do. So, again, you can answer that question. What sport have you lost interest in over the last few years? Somebody said tennis on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. I've lost a lot of interest in tennis, actually. Man, I used to do breakfast in Wimbledon every year. I have the last 2 years. I kind of got back into it. But when you had McEnroe, Borg, Connors, all those great matchups, Yvonne Lindell, I was a huge McEnroe guy, and used to watch all the major championships. Well, maybe not the Australian Open because it was early, and, this was well before ESPN. That's how old I am. But, yeah, I've lost some interest in that as well. And there are just more entertainment options than there used to be, right? A lot more. Okay, by the way, Jiren Canik did talk to the media yesterday, and let's save that for the next segment. But really good stuff yesterday with Jiren Canik. So you guys got Jiren, you got Kobe McKenzie, you got Robert Spears Jennings, you got Troy Everett. Am I missing anybody?
R. Mason Thomas. You're missing R.
That's
Mason
right.
Thomas.
I sat there and cut an R. Mason Thomas clip today, and I already forgot. I guess we can play the Canik stuff now. Let's go ahead and do it. We've got enough time in this segment.
Yeah.
This is Jiren Canik yesterday talking about his move from linebacker to tight end.
I love this place, and I love OU. Selfishly, I want to be good, but I want this place to be good, and I want to have success. I want to see Coach V have success. I want to see Coach Arbuckle and John and all these quarterbacks come in and just run up and down this field. And I'm going to work my ass off to be a part of that and contribute to that, be able to lead guys towards that goal. But, like I said, it's a huge advantage to be able to almost start on the same level. And it's a move that I'd been thinking on and praying on quite a bit last year, coming into this year. And something that I talked to my family about and talked to my coaches about and kind of just figured it'd be a good move for me. One thing about me is I never want to look back and have regret that I didn't, put all my cards out and try everything I could. And so, obviously having the struggle on defense and just kind of not finding that niche and not finding that spot and just never really clicked. And, I had an exit meeting with Coach Alley and Coach Venables before Coach Alley went on to where he is now. And we kind of just sat down and talked about it and just pretty much came to the point like, yeah, man, it's one of those things where I can be up here at the facility every hour of the day and I can love it as much as I do, but it's like, if it's not natural, it's not natural. And I would have needed to have been doing it for a decade for it to be natural. And so I feel like I was always a step behind, but I don't have any regret in the change now because I feel like I truly gave it my best shot. And I think it's just, for me, it's a better decision to try out the offensive thing now. I've been an offensive guy my whole life, and so getting this opportunity meow to go out and do that again and have fun and catch balls and block and do all that stuff, it's a great opportunity.
He won a bet, didn't he?
All right, clue me in. I'm the old man here. I'm a step away from being on a Progressive insurance commercial. So clue me in on the meow thing.
There's
I'm
nothing
not,
to clue you in on, Steely.
It's in the know.
Yeah, listen, it's not like an inside joke or anything. Again, I assume he just won a bet over the course of that interview.
Somebody said it had something to do with the movie Super Troopers. Is that right?
I've never seen that movie. I would not know.
I don't know either. There are people.
It is kind of hilarious that he can talk for 90 seconds in arguably the most serious tone you've ever heard Jiren Canik talk, and then right at the end or towards the end, he slips in a meow just to remind you that he's still a troll.
I hope it works out for him. Basically, the early reports is pretty good. It's from Super Troopers. Yeah, that's what I heard. But I mean, what's the reference? I guess they said meow a lot. Was it to like In what context? I bet they're probably pulling over some babes or something, and that maybe the troopers thought the babes were hot and said meow. I don't know.
Does that work, Steely?
I don't know. I haven't tried it yet.
Is that
Probably won't.
Is that the literal definition of catcalling?
I guess so.
You just say meow to a lady?
I guess they do in Super Troopers. That would be my guess. All right. Let's hear from Kobe McKenzie, former linebacking. Kobe McKenzie's still a linebacker, but Jiren Canik was in the same room with him. Now he's in the room with the tight ends, ladies and gentlemen. And here's Kobe talking about Jiren Canik again, moving from linebacker to tight end.
That's good for him. He's a competitive dude. I couldn't be more excited for Jiren. Anything he gets, he earns it. That's the best way I can put it to anybody who isn't in this building. He lives up here. Dude lives and dies for his program. So, me, him, and Kip all came in at the same time, so we still give each other crap. And, it's not like he isn't on the team anymore. He's a competitive guy, so it's good to see him, making strides over there and doing what he loves to do and playing ball.
There you go. So, Jiren Canik, maybe he can be the next Sooners' great tight end. We'll see.
Maybe. We've been clued in by Sooner James in Wisconsin, who says in the movie, the troopers pull a guy over and one bets the other he can't sneak in meow 10 times during the conversation.
Okay. All right. Thank you, James in Wisconsin. They know what's going on in Wisconsin. There's no doubt about it. All right. We want to thank Lasher Home Comfort Systems, 405-579-3113 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. By the way, it's 405-651-3439. Keep those texts rolling in, and we'll get to as many as we can. We're live on YouTube as well. Just pull up YouTube, search KREF Sports, click on the logo. It'll have the little red circle around it flashing. Click on that, and it'll send you right to us. All right, just underway here on a Tuesday. Let's talk a little more Sooner football when we get back here on the Ref.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is the Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
Oklahoma baseball single-game tickets are on sale now. Don't miss a packed 31-game home schedule this spring at L. Dale Mitchell Park. Seats start at just $10 per game, with exciting promotions like $2 Tuesdays, Firework Fridays, and Sunday Fun Day for Conference Series. Guaranteed fun for the whole family. Check out the game schedule and more information at Soonersports.com. Join us at the ballpark, and Boomer Sooner!
Dove Schools is looking for a science teacher to teach science to secondary school students. Candidates should have a bachelor's degree in science education or any subfield of natural science and 1 year of experience as a science teacher at a middle or high school level. The job is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. If interested in this opportunity, mail your resume to Dove Schools, Inc., 5601 Northwest Expressway, War Acres, Oklahoma, 73132. Attention HR. Refer to add #SK.
It's time for your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather. Brought to you by Cavens Group. Do you have a water emergency? Give Cavens a call at 405-573-3048.
From the First Alert Weather Center, this is meteorologist Jonathan Condor with your KOCO5 News weather forecast. A little chilly out the door this morning in the 40s. Then this afternoon looking pretty good, warm with a breeze. We'll see a high temperature today in the upper 70s with a south wind at about 15 to 20 miles an hour under a sunny sky. Tonight mostly clear, overnight lows down in the mid-40s with a lighter south wind at 10 miles an hour. And then as we go into Wednesday, I'll keep it dry, partly cloudy, highs in the upper 70s with a south breeze at about...
That was your certified most accurate forecast from KOCO5 First Alert Weather, brought to you by Cavens. Did you have a water emergency that you fear might turn into mold? Give Cavens Group a call at 405-573-3048 or visit cavensgroup.com today.
Basketball season's here, and there's no better place to watch the Sooners than at Coach's Corner in Norman. Catch every thrilling play on tons of TVs, plus enjoy the coldest beer in town. But wait, Coach's Corner isn't just for game days. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, Wednesday nights for Singo, and don't miss Thirsty Thursdays with unbeatable drink specials. With Soul Food Sundays, the best atmosphere for OU basketball, and events all week long, Coach's Corner is your go-to spot at the intersection of Lindsay and Berry, where every day is game day.
Hi, this is Monty Markham at Markham's Nursery. It's that time of year to get outside and spend some time in the yard, planting your favorite trees, shrubs, and flowers, and we've got a huge selection of them at Markham's. This Saturday and Sunday only, March the 15th and 16th, is our annual spring open house at all Markham's locations. Come by and stock up on seeds, bulbs, pottery, fertilizers, yard ornaments, and much more. We hope to see you this Saturday.
Markham's Nursery, just add the sun.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids are facing hunger every day? Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Serving in Afghanistan, I was shot in the head by sniper fire. I was given a 5% chance to live. I'm Adam Alexander, and I'm a veteran. Today, I visit classrooms and share my story. I tell kids that with a little help and a lot of work, that you can overcome any challenge.
DAV helps veterans like Adam get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
My victory is being there for the next generation.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the man of steel. I'm one of America's favorite regional radio stars, along with the young whippersnapper Parker Thune, nephew of John Thune. I've been warned that to watch young Mr. Thune very closely. He might be a plant and is secretly trying to overthrow the American government and hand it to Russia. Now, I don't believe that, but a couple people have emailed me and let me know his real name at birth there in Nebraska was Vladimir Parker Thune. Is that accurate?
It is not accurate on two accounts.
Okay.
A, that was not my given name at birth, and B, I was not born in the state of Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, you were born in where?
Austin, Texas.
Sir, we're going to have to revoke your broadcasting license, and they're calling me Longhorn Steely. Is that accurate? How did you told me that before, and my old man brain has already flushed it, you know. How long did you spend in Austin?
2 years, Steely, the first 2 years of my life.
There's no doubt that this kid, who we all know and love and we respect very much, there is a possibility he's a Russian plant. There is no doubt. If you're born in Austin, that might as well be the Kremlin, right? How could I forget that? Well, I can tell you how I'm old, but, you know, anyway. 405-651-34. Sooner Bump. Austin, Texas, are you me? LOL. Some word that starts with an S and ends with an N and means defecation. That was the first one. Holy cow. All right. 405-651-3439. Any other impressions from spring ball so far? I know you guys basically got the interviews yesterday, but any other reports you're getting on? We've heard Canik looks good so far. We've heard a lot about Giovanni Gibson. We've seen the drastic weight changes, good weight, on a lot of the Sooner players. They're beefing up in a good way. We've heard a lot of good stuff about John Mateer. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
I would simply say this. Well, Giovanni Gibson's going to be really freaking good. You can count on that. The other thing, though, disregard Michael Hawkins at your own peril, because that kid is not conceding anything. And he's been sharp thus far in spring.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens because let's say John Mateer has a really good year, but, you know.
Not a good enough year to make the jump.
Right, and then you've got John Mateer back for another year.
I'll tell you exactly what I told you, last October when people were asking, you think there's a chance both Jackson Arnold and Michael Hawkins could be back next season? There was never a chance. And as we look ahead to 2026, I will once again tell you there is a 0% chance that both John Mateer and Michael Hawkins are on OU's roster for the 2026 season. It will be one or the other.
Yeah, and if it's Michael Hawkins, how could you blame it? Because I think the kid's got really a high ceiling. There's no doubt. All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. No guests today, so it's all you guys and ladies. So we need to get LaDonna on this case. She is spying for us there in Lubbock, Texas. Maybe she can check Parker's birth certificates there in Austin and see if there's or what is the genealogy site, what's it called, that we need to get on, trace his roots and see if there is any Russian stuff there. I don't know. But I guess I'm not surprised that I forgot, because you told me you were born in Austin one other time. But I still had Nebraska on my mind, which is opposed to, what was the song, Georgia on my mind? Nebraska on my mind. All right. Speaking of Nebraska, what are we thinking about Matt Rule so far? They finally got to a bowl game, right?
They did, barely.
Are they trending up? Would you buy Nebraska stock right now, or do you think it's steady, or would you, unload it?
I think Nebraska is still at least 2 or 3 years away from being a legit contender in the Big Ten. If they get there, and that's not to say they will. I wouldn't buy Nebraska stock right this second.
Yeah. Which is, I got to tell you, as a Sooner fan growing up, and that being, Texas obviously has always been the gigantic rivalry, but in kind of your first hurdle, depending on if you didn't have an Ohio State or somebody in the non-conference, it was really the first hurdle was Texas, and then the hurdle down the stretch was Nebraska. And if you went over both those hurdles successfully, you were going to be in the Orange Bowl playing for a national championship back in those days. But Nebraska, was it a hated rivalry? Not so much. I mean, you had some years, with the Steve Taylor, was it Broderick? Who was the defensive end? The Sandman. I can't remember his name, but there was some back and forth talk, and I'm not saying there wasn't a little bit of a heated rivalry there, but not nearly the same as Texas. So it was kind of a respect rivalry. But to see Nebraska's fall has been pretty disappointing to see. Yeah, when you see all the blue blood lists, Parker, they're still hanging around on the top tier. Now, are they close to being booted from the Blue Bloods Club? Booted? Could they be booted from the Blue Bloods Club?
I don't think they're in imminent danger of that. This is such a bizarre question from a listener in the 405. Who's the Bauer Sharp of spring? Someone that looks good but will be a huge bust. How the hell am I supposed to know?
That's a tough one to call, but...
Yeah, how can I look at what goes on in the practice field and have the conscious thought, yeah, this guy looks really, really good, but he's going to suck when the lights come on?
Yeah, that's a hard call to make right now. I mean, you've got to be Nostradamus, I think, to make that call. Broderick Thomas, yeah, that's right. So,
a listener apparently in Edmond who has a Wyoming area code says, by the way, Parker, I just picked up some lunch at Mo Beta's here in Edmond. You're going to want to go to Mo Beta's. You go to Mo Beta's, that doesn't sound very appetizing. Either that or it's a pet store.
The beta fish, yeah, those are the fighting fish, right?
They are. Don't want to be eating them.
Well, I think he's talking about Mo Beta's, though. By the way, you and Michael Fasusi, both big Mo Beta's fans.
Dylan Gabriel, too.
Yeah, that's true. That's right. Now, there's one over there in Northwest Norman, right?
There is, yes, across from the Target and the Academy, up in that shopping center, right next to the YFAC.
Shay and I went there one day, and
Really?
Maybe it was a bad day, but we were like, meh.
Yeah, it probably wasn't enough sugar in there for you.
Listen to you, coming after me, you Russian spy. Come on. No, it was, I don't know, maybe it was just a bad day, because a lot of people really like that place. I know that.
Gunny of Stutzman Army correctly points out, I'd rather have Mo Alphas than Mo Betas. Facts.
That's true.
Kingston Girl says, we forgive Parker for being born in Austin. He got out ASAP. I was born in California, but got out too. Yeah, listen, being born in Austin, out of my control. I can tell you this much. And this, frankly, has absolutely nothing to do with the University of Texas. You could not pay me enough to live in Austin these days. Have you been to Austin recently, Steely?
It's been a while. It's been a long
worst.
time. I hear the traffic is horrible. I hear a bunch of liberal pansies there too. You know what I'm saying? Which, I don't know if that's accurate or not. But I have called Austin the Cal Berkeley of the Southwest. It might be. But what is it? It's just the traffic. It's obviously do they have over 1 million people there now?
Yes. And believe me, it's more than that. Substantially more than that, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
There's too much humanity, too many buildings, too much. Well, okay. Nope. I'm just going to stop myself before the text line starts to get political on me. I don't like Austin, Texas. I'll just leave it at that.
We're trying to get Eli Drinkwitz's birth certificate changed because he was born in Norman, Oklahoma, which is a damn shame. So we need to get that. I don't know. I don't think will change your birth certificate. But if we can do that, maybe we can get yours changed. Like, we don't want Eli Drinkwitz being born in Norman, Oklahoma, right? There's got to be somebody in the government, in the shadow government, who can get that taken care of.
You think Elon's an OU fan? Think OU softball has won him over to the good side?
Doubtful. I think he's a Mars University fan. I don't know. So anyway, all right, 405-651-3439. Steely, what are your thoughts on all the lazy bums who leave shopping carts all over the parking lot? I think that should be maybe we change that to a felony. You're just not looking after your fellow human beings, and you're just a rotten SOB if you do that. I don't have time to push this 10 feet back to the shopping cart receptacle area. I've got important things to do. I've got a YouTube channel now. I'm an insider.
That really might be the ultimate litmus test of humanity. If you're one of those people that does not put your shopping cart where it belongs once you're done, you don't put it in those cart return areas, I probably don't want anything to do with you. You're probably just not a very pleasant or agreeable person in real life.
You don't belong in a community. You don't. Those people are just selfish sons of bitches, basically. I don't have time to walk this cart 20 yards. I'm just going to let it blow in the wind and ding somebody's vehicle. These people should be rounded up. And we should parade them through the streets.
Subject them to shame? Public shaming?
Yes, absolutely. And people should be able to just fling shopping carts at them as they walk down the middle of the street.
Jake from Wisconsin said, when Parker said it's the worst, I repeated it in my head in the Michael Scott voice. A 405 listener says, Elon has never heard of the term softball. No, you remember Elon posted a photo a while back where he had like the OU softball media guide or something.
What?
Booklet. Yeah.
How did I miss that? Really?
I believe we talked about it. If you and I didn't talk about it, we talked about it on Locked In.
Wow. My brain, I tell you, man. Will you come see me at Shady Oaks when I'm over there with my uncle? You guys come visit me?
Yeah, we'll stream Fortnite together.
There you go. That's a plan. 5-star Gunny of Stutzman Army. Those people are worthless. Yes, the shopping cart felons.
5-star Randy says they're the same people who dump their ashtray on their parking place.
Yeah. Well, they had it right on
People
Seinfeld.
Still ripping heaters in the year of our Lord 2025?
Oh. What did we used to call them back in the day? A Gert was one of them. Lung Dart is one that Super 70 Sports uses all the time. I like that one a lot. That's pretty good. I like his stuff. His show, I didn't picture him looking like that. That boy looked like he hung out down there in San Francisco back in the summer of love. He looked like a by gosh hippie.
Probably was.
But he's pretty good. I love that Twitter account.
Reformed Homer says, if these slappies can't put up their carts, they need to have them zip tied to the door handles.
Slappies. Pretty good. All right, 405-651-3439. Hey, Riverwind Casino. Friday nights are always awesome because they have their big drawings, promotional drawings, every month. This month, it is the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway. You can win your share of 80K in cash and bonus play. One of the ways to increase your chances of hearing your name called on Friday night is to play with your wild card on Mondays and Tuesdays. So get out there, play with your wild card, maybe go have a great lunch or something right now and go out there, play with your wild card a little bit, get a few points on that wild card and earn 5 times the entries again or more, and hopefully hear your name called and win your share of 80K in cash and bonus play coming up on Friday night in the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway. We have another big show this weekend at the Showplace Theater. 38 Special was rocking the place last Friday night. This Saturday night, Grammy Award winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Bonnie Raitt will be on the Showplace Theater stage. Later in the month of March, Chicago will be there. Always something great happening out at Riverwind. They have nearly 3,000 electronic games, all your favorite table games as well. World-class hotel attached to the casino, great bars and dining, always good times and great rewards at Riverwind. We are coming right back. Keep it right here on the home of Sooner fans.
Sooner football talk lives here. This is The Ref.
Looking for a trusted, locally owned and operated roofing company in Oklahoma? Black Thunder Roofing is a top-rated Home Advisor Elite Service Award winner and recipients of multiple Angie Superior Service Awards. They can do it all. Black Thunder also does free inspections and estimates. Locally operated in Norman and Edmond, Black Thunder Roofing serves OKC's metro area south to Purcell, Noble, Blanchard, as well as Yukon, Mustang, Bethany, and Piedmont. Visit blackthunderroofing.com or call 405-473-8028 for your free estimate today.
Speaking of technology, did you know that RK Black is an authorized dealer for Kyocera copiers? And the Kyocera copiers aren't just copiers. They're smart devices that can scan, print, fax, and email your documents with ease and security. Even better, they're backed by RK Black's award-winning service team that is built on nearly 70 years of taking great care of our clients. Whether you need a desktop printer or a multifunction copier, RK Black has the right product for you. Let's get the conversation started. Give us a call at 943-9800 or visit us at rkblack.com.
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler Standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics.
Want a chance to win big with your bracket this March? The Refs Bracket Challenge is back in 2025, and we are once again the home of winning big amidst the madness this March.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
Just visit kref.com/bracket and click the link to join the Refs Bracket Challenge to see if you have what it takes to best our hosts and the rest of the Ref Army for a chance at March glory.
Do it! Just do it!
The Refs 2025 Bracket Challenge is brought to you by Louie's Grill and Bar. Louie's Grill and Bar is the perfect spot to watch your bracket look brilliant or get busted this March. Visit louisgrillandbar.com for a location near you. Make the right call. Join the Refs Bracket Challenge by March 20th before games tip off, and you'll have a chance to win big, courtesy of Louie's Grill and Bar, the home of Sooner fans and the home for the best giveaways this March.
Would you like to play a more active role in your health? At Hightower Clinical, we believe all Oklahomans should have access to new potential treatment options through clinical trial participation. Our team wants to support you with the best care possible through clinical trials. No health insurance is required. Compensation is available for eligible study participants, and study care is provided at no cost.
Having the chance to go through a trial and find out if something works for them and makes their life easier, I would recommend them do it.
To learn more, scan this QR code and visit our website.
Tired of your current living situation? Now is the best time to make a move. Interest rates are dropping and Home Creations is offering the best financing around with rates as low as 3.625%. This will save you hundreds per month on your brand new Home Creations home. Live like a champion today by calling Holly at 405-364-9999 for full details.
364-9999. Home Creations.
APR 6.508%.
Why did I wait so long to see a retina specialist?
Retinal disease can steal your eyesight, but it doesn't have to. Patients who seek care from a retina specialist have the best chance of preventing vision loss due to age-related macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy. AMD symptoms to look out for are distortion or warping of straight lines, as well as blurred or loss of central vision. Patients with diabetic retinopathy should seek treatment if they notice the appearance of spots or floaters or blurred and distorted vision. Visit seeforalifetime.org.
Steelman and Thune, it is the Tuesday edition. We're here in the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, tomorrow out at Cavens Group. And then Friday back out at Riverwind Casino. Hope you guys and ladies are having a great Tuesday so far. Want to thank Lasher Lasher Home Comfort Systems for sponsoring our first hour. 405-579-3113 for all your heating and air needs. It's Lasher Home Comfort Systems. All right, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, 405-651-3439. Man, what's going on, boys? Is there something in the air today? Some allergen out there that I don't know about? Because it's been a little bit of a struggle today. They may be firing my ass if this continues. You never know. All right, spring football continues. Media get-together yesterday. A lot of players. We heard from Jiren Canik and from Kobe McKenzie. This was R. Mason Thomas. One of the things that we've talked about, I believe the Sooners have the makings of a really good defense again this season, but your top three leaders, I think on the D-line, Ethan Downs, linebacker, obviously Danny Stutzman, and in the secondary, Billy Bowman are all gone. All had great combine showings, by the way, in Indianapolis. So R. Mason Thomas was asked if he thinks the Sooners have what it takes and the personnel to replace, obviously, those three guys. And here's what he had to say.
Absolutely. Like Kip, Kobe, RJ, step up for Billy's position. Kobe and Kip stepping up for Danny's position. He was lost, but how they was behind him taking notes and getting little details from them, they bring back, like Billy and Danny are still here.
Those are the next guys, but what about leadership-wise? Does it take somebody else or somebody that like yourself that's been starting to step into those leadership roles?
Those same guys I mentioned and me also to lead. We have our different ways of leading, but ultimately they're not going to be like Team 130, but Team 131 has a new leadership and same guys, including me, Dom, G-Baby, all those seniors, but the freshmen are coming in and leading too.
There you go. And again, that's no slight to those three guys. They were great players and great leaders for OU. But my question, again, is more the leadership because Danny Stutzman, you could tell he was the captain of that defense. And there's no doubt that Billy Bowman was the captain of the secondary. Ethan Downs, one of those guys that just gave everything to the University of Oklahoma as well. How are you feeling? Who would you say might be a sleeper guy maybe we're not talking enough about on the defensive side of the ball this year?
Sammy Omosigho. It's the first name that comes to mind for me. I think he's going to inherit a lot of snaps at the linebacker position, and he's going to have to earn them, right? Nothing's going to be handed to him, but there are snaps to be had with the absence of Danny Stutzman and certainly the departure of Lewis Carter. And with Kendall Dolby and Kendall Daniels, I think two guys that probably are going to play more cheetah than anything, although Daniels certainly can and will give you some snaps at inside linebacker. I think there's a very natural opportunity there for Omosigho to even seize a starting role. I don't think it's out of the question. In fact, I might consider it likely that he emerges as the starter next to Kip Lewis at inside backer for the Sooners. I think very highly of the player he is, his overall athletic profile, and now that he has spent 2 years in the system, getting a little bit of seasoning, and he's seen the field here and there, not a ton, but he's played significant, meaningful snaps at times. I think that's a guy that's poised to make a big jump.
So, Eli Bowen on crutches.
Yes.
What up?
Well, it's an ankle. It's one of those things that happens on the practice field. It's nothing he won't be over in a few weeks.
Okay, so like a twisted ankle, not like a broken ankle then.
No.
Okay, good. Man, Sooner fans are very leery of any kind of injury situation these days after last year's total debacle, particularly at the wide receiver position. How about Michael Boganowski as a sleeper as well? We know the guy can hit. He's got great potential. You have, you look at the safeties right now. You got RSJ and you have Peyton Bowen. But Boganowski looks like he's a guy that's going to play a lot and make some plays.
I would imagine he's the third safety in the mix. He's most naturally a free safety. That position that RSJ plays where, you like to have somebody a little bigger, a little bit more physically imposing. You have Robert Spears-Jennings that projects ideally as the starter at the free, and then Peyton Bowen at the strong safety position. But it takes more than two in the back end. And so I do believe you'll see a lot of Michael Boganowski, and early returns on him this spring have been pretty strong. He's taken a leap in terms of just his technical acumen at the position, because you got to keep in mind he's not a natural safety, did not play the position in high school. He played linebacker, and so he's having to make kind of a backwards transition in real time because, more often than not, you get guys that played defensive back in high school that wind up sliding down to linebacker. Very rarely do you see the obverse of that where you have linebackers that wind up playing safety at the next level. But that's exactly what Michael Boganowski's doing, and it's going well for him per all reports thus far.
All right, Sooner basketball tomorrow night in the SEC tournament. Joe Lunardi had Oklahoma again in the last four in, but they were ahead of Indiana, Xavier, and Ohio State. So according to Lunardi in bracketology anyway, they have a little wiggle room. But bid stealers is what you're thinking about, too. You don't need any bid stealers. There haven't been any bid stealers yet, but there's going to be a bid stealer or two. You hope you don't have the catastrophe, the calamity that happened last year when it was it 7 bid stealers? Is that what it was a year ago?
I don't recall the exact number. It was a lot of bid thieves.
Yeah, it was, no doubt. So Sam Godwin, Porter didn't totally rule him out, but I'd be shocked if he plays. Maybe even be surprised if he played if Oklahoma goes beyond the Georgia game tomorrow night at 8:30. So we shall see. Sooners in Georgia. Again, Georgia won the first game in Athens. And in that game, the Bulldogs shot 37 free throws and the Sooners shot 9. That's what I would call a discrepancy at the charity stripe. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. By the way, I like the fact that tomorrow night it lines up pretty good because you have the Thunder who lost to Denver last night. J-Dub going out was not good. But, look, I know the Nuggets had Aaron Gordon out as well, and they were on fire in the second half, absolutely on fire. And Denver's been playing some good basketball. But tomorrow night the Thunder plays the Celtics at 6 p.m. ESPN game. So you can go from the Thunder-Celtics game right into the Sooners game with Georgia. So it's going to be some good basketball tomorrow night. And hopefully the Thunder and the Sooners can get some dubs coming up tomorrow night. How you feeling about the Sooners? You think they can get Georgia Wednesday night? Because I think if you get Georgia, you got to feel extremely good. Maybe, if you win the Georgia game, you even think, well, we're probably not going to Dayton at least now. Because there are a lot of people out there that think because of the strength of the SEC, and I know it's crazy because Oklahoma, just finished 6-12 in conference play, but because of the strength of the SEC, that still could be good enough for Oklahoma. Even if they don't beat Georgia, they just still go and play in Dayton, in one of the first 4 games. So, how you feeling about the Sooners, Georgia, tomorrow night?
I don't feel like it's a win they have to have. I still think they're in the field if they lose, but no doubt, after what you saw last year, what you would like to be able to do is remove any doubt. Eliminate any wiggle room that might even hypothetically exist for you to be left out of the tournament field. And I feel like a win tomorrow night against Georgia would do that for this Oklahoma
Insurance
team.
policy win.
Correct.
Right? So,
because it looked like let's be frank, it looked like they were safely in the field of 68 at this time last year. You never can take anything for granted in the wild world of college basketball.
I had
champ
somebody tell me yesterday, by the way, you guys, Porter's coming back even if they don't make the field. Now, I'm not saying he's super connected to the program, but he's somewhat in the know. Okay? Can't reveal the source, but said they won't pay the buyout. They would put that money to football or other stuff. It's a financial deal, and they like Porter. You buying that? That even if they don't make the tournament, that Porter's coming back? What would the percentage chance be in your mind?
If they don't make the tournament field at this point, I don't know how Joe Castiglione would manage the situation, but if I know leadership at Oklahoma the way that I feel like I know them, what would probably happen is that Porter would return because they would do a cost-benefit analysis and conclude that with the strong surge towards the end of the season, even if it wasn't enough in the end, especially getting over the hump with Texas, finally knocking off the Longhorns in the Porter era, it is more worth it to bring Porter back and run it back for year 5 than it is to pay him $7 million to go away.
Yeah, and that's the modern era of college athletics. You have to take that into consideration. It's not like A&M, where A&M could pay out. What was Jimbo's buyout, $75 million or something?
I thought it was more than that.
That's crazy. All right, according to a good source, Blake Gamble, the Sooners are projected to be a 10 or 11 or a 12 seed. Jerry Palm had them at 11, I think, in his latest. And how about some of these current 5, 6, or 7 seeds as they're projected right now? Arizona, the Sooners beat them in the Bahamas. Michigan, the Sooners beat them in the Jumpman Invitational. Louisville, Sooners took down U of L in the Bahamas. And then Missouri, which was a huge win for Porter and company down the stretch. So there you go. We'll see. But tomorrow night, 8:30 or thereabouts on the SEC Network. Straight from Thunder basketball into Oklahoma, Georgia. That'll be a good night of hoops. Okay, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
832 Mike says, why are we not hearing more about Peyton Bowen? After all the chaos from his recruitment and him being a top safety, it feels like he's regressed from his freshman season. We need him to be the 5-star he was recruited as. Well, you're not hearing more about him because he's hurt right now. He's still overcoming what Brent Venables called a turf toe injury that was affecting him for the entire 2024 season. So you are not seeing 100% of Peyton Bowen. So, no, Peyton Bowen hasn't regressed. He just hasn't been completely healthy, which feels like that's been the case for about half of OU's roster, right?
How many players are good? Well, if they didn't have these injury issues, it's crazy. Do you think there will be less physical practices or scrimmages? You think they'll tone that back or knock it down a level? Because they've scrimmaged really hard and they've gone, they've tackled a lot. Now, you don't want to go back to mule shoes flag football stuff, but do you think they'll tone that down somewhat?
Yes, I think they'll tone it down because at this point, everybody in the program realizes it's kind of a necessity, right? As Brent himself says so often, the best ability is availability.
Yeah.
And they had a bunch of guys this last season that simply weren't available. Now, yes, by no means are they going to go back to the Alex Grinch, Mule Shoe, Benny Wiley days where they weren't even tackling in practice. But they'll scale it back a little bit.
All right, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. We'll talk about PJ coming up here in a little bit next hour. We've got a lot more Sooner football to talk about. 405-651-3439. The question on YouTube today, what sport have you lost interest in over the last few years? There are a lot of possibilities out there. For me, I said a little bit of college basketball and a little bit of golf because of the PGA Tour Live Golf situation. But I'll be watching the players this weekend. I'll tell you that. I ain't missing the players, even though Tiger's not going to be there. Tiger will show up at Augusta National. Book it. Okay. Thanks to Lasher Home Comfort Systems. That's hour number 1. Coming right back. Keep it here.
From the gridiron to the hardwood to the diamond, no one covers the Sooners like we do. If it's Sooner Sports, we have you covered 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. This is the home of Sooner fans.
OU softball, baseball, and gymnastics offer great opportunities for you to get out for some exciting action and support your Sooners. Going to an OU event or game? Balfour of Norman on Campus Corner invites you to stop by and get some new OU gear. Whether it's a softball jersey with your favorite player or just a new lucky shirt or hat to wear to the game, Balfour has everything you need to be in style and showing your colors. Cheer for the Sooners in the best and newest styles in Sooner sportswear. Locally owned for more than 45 years, Balfour continues to be Sooner fans' favorite OU store and has everything you need. Balfour has the latest styles and fashion trends for men, women, and children. You can find something for every Sooner fan. When it comes to hats, they have you covered with more than 100 styles to choose from. Even OU socks, so you're literally covered from head to toe. Graduation is right around the corner. They have OU diploma frames in stock. Or you can always get a gift card so they can choose the perfect gift for themselves. Come see us on the corner or shop online at crimsonproud.com, where you will find everything Sooner.
Imagine one step, and suddenly a fall turns into a fracture. For many, osteoporosis is a hidden threat, weakening bones silently until it's too late. At the Ortho Central Bone Health Clinic, we believe in personalized care to keep bones strong and resilient. Led by advanced practitioner Amanda Boyd, our team specializes in detection and personalized treatment plans, from bone density testing to strengthening bones after a fracture. Take charge of your bone health today. Call Ortho Central's Bone Health Clinic and let's build better bones together. Here at The Ref, we know football, and we talk football every single day. But it wouldn't be possible without the great people at Wade Electric. Because while we know football, we trust Wade Electric for all of our electrical needs. Anytime we need electrical work done at our station, we call Wade Electric. They've been out to install new exterior lighting, convert interior lighting to LED, update devices, and install new power where needed. Call them today at 405-329-1940. Wade Electric, the electrical experts.
Fowler Automotive is proud to be a part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom. We believe that families, sports, art, and culture are at the heart of every thriving community, and it's important to us that we help build the communities that our dealerships call home. Stop by any of our 6 Oklahoma dealerships to see the Fowler Standard hard at work. We pride ourselves on being friendly, helpful, honest, and fair. This is what drives us every day. Fowler Automotive, a proud partner of OU Athletics.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Our showroom is home to classic favorites like diamond earrings and pearl strands, plus cool watches from Michelle and Shinola, and cases full of the latest trends. We are known for our engagement rings and love giving our customers every option, straight from our cases or in their very own custom design, with natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, or colored gemstones. Shop with us in-store or shop our website or Instagram. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
Hi, this is Monty Markham at Markham's Nursery. It's that time of year to get outside and spend some time in the yard, planting your favorite trees, shrubs, and flowers, and we've got a huge selection of them at Markham's. This Saturday and Sunday only, March the 15th and 16th, is our annual spring open house at all Markham's locations. Come by and stock up on seeds, bulbs, pottery, fertilizers, yard ornaments, and much more. We hope to see you this Saturday.
Markham's Nursery, just add the sun.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for children and teens. Hospital and doctor visits, prescriptions, shots, and more are covered. That's peace of mind for parents if a child is sick or gets injured. And parents may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if they've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You're listening to the home of Sooner fans, KREF, Norman, Oklahoma, and streaming live on the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 presented by our friends at High Tower Clinical. We appreciate High Tower Clinical very much. They're awesome, bringing clinical trial opportunities to the great state of Oklahoma with no cost or insurance needed to take part in these trials. Your meds are provided for free. Patients are also compensated for their time, located very conveniently in various metro area locations. If you have any questions, what the trials are all about, how you can take part, any information you need, check them out online at hightowerclinical.com. That's hightowerclinical.com. Or you can call or text them and get the information at 405-831-5905. That's 405-831-5905. So, by the way, Oklahoma State playing right now in the Big 12 tournament, getting a good country ass whooping from Cincinnati, 58-38. That's going on in Kansas City. About 12 minutes left in the game. And again, Oklahoma State's 15-16, 7-13 in the conference, and down 20 to the Bearcats of Cincinnati. So our man Blake Gamble, who's running YouTube for us, and by the way, the question on YouTube today, what sport have you lost interest in over the last few years? You can answer that if you'd like. And you can also answer that if you want to on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line at 405-651-3439. Colonial Athletic Association Conference Tournament, the final tonight between Delaware and UNC Wilmington, the Blue Hens against the Seahawks. Delaware won 5 games in the conference, but that's the conference championship matchup tonight. So I guess there may be a bid stealer anyway there. Well, this isn't one bid conference, obviously, whoever wins the conference tournament. But you wore Delaware Blue Hens garb recently, is that right?
Yeah, do you not recall that?
Were you? We were trying to think if I was on remote. See, I don't recall anything anymore.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, I have a Delaware T-shirt.
Maybe
the Blue Hens logo is one heck of a logo.
Who is the most famous Delaware Blue Hen? Joe Flacco?
Joe Biden.
Well, I ain't talking about Sleepy Joe. I'm talking about NFL Joe.
Yes, then it's probably either Joe Flacco or Rich Gannon.
That's right. Rich Gannon was a Delaware guy. That's right. Now, he led – didn't he lead that Raiders team to they lost to Tampa Bay?
Dang right they did. They got spanked by Tampa Bay.
They did. John Gruden, from a Super Bowl to working for Barstool, right? Isn't he doing Barstool stuff
The circle of life, Steely.
Oh, man. Jeez. I will say that Frank, Caliendo's John Gruden is top notch.
Oh, Frank Caliendo does a better John Gruden than John Gruden does.
It's so good. It's fantastic. All right, is there anybody else from Delaware? Go ahead and Google it up.
Also, back before he was president, Frank Caliendo did a better Donald Trump than Donald Trump does.
The guy from SNL is pretty good, but we used to have, believe it or not, Frank Caliendo on probably once every 3 months or so for about an 18-month period when I was doing the old school Morning Animal back in the day. He would come on with us. He was just getting started, did all these impressions. We'd write a few scripts for him. And I guess he probably made 4 or 5 appearances. But he was super cool. He'd just come on, yeah, give me a call. We'll do it. That was a long, long time ago, ladies and gentlemen. But it was he's not the guy that did our famous Charlton Heston. That was another guy who was a voice actor in L.A. that we would write the scripts for. But Caliendo he was a super cool dude. Super cool guy. Okay, 405-651-3439 on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. What do we have, Parker?
Beach Bum Sooner says, that was Dungy's team that Gruden won with, just saying.
Yeah.
Go Bucks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of truth to that. But Gator says, same most famous Delaware Blue Hen discussion as last time, Parker. Steelman is washed.
When did we have a Delaware discussion? Did we have one like a week ago?
No. Steelman's not that washed, Gator. That was on Locked In, so you weren't around for that Delaware Blue Hen
you're
discussion.
washed, Gator. Go wash yourself, all right?
Gunny simply says, old man rant. Old man rant. Old man rant.
It's the 1 o'clock hour. It'll probably pop at any minute. You never know. So anyway, was that Brad Johnson as the Bucs quarterback?
It was.
Wow. So who was the worst Super Bowl winning quarterback? Brad
It's
Johnson?
between him.
Kerry Collins win one? Did he win one?
No, Kerry Collins never did.
No, they
Trent
lost.
Dilfer won one.
Dilfer won one. That's
Dilfer
right.
is up there. I mean, here's the thing. I know it doesn't feel like it because he's a legend, but the latter-day version of Peyton Manning that won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos was atrocious. I mean, he couldn't throw the ball more than 20 yards downfield that year.
It was that defense, man, getting after the quarterback. Peyton just won with brains.
It's pretty true.
But yeah, it was not the old Peyton Manning, but they got the Super Bowl. Okay, let's talk about 3-star PJ, says Larry from Cashin. What's going on with PJ out of Boo-Rare?
I mean, he looks good. Looks muscled up. Obviously, he's a freakish athlete. And if he's healthy this fall, he'll certainly be in the rotation at defensive end and push to start. There's no doubt about that. Larry from Cashin also said, Jiren Canik is awesome. Takes a real dude to accept BV's positional mistakes and not be pissed. Okay.
I mean, I think the idea was good, but...
It was a good idea. And let's be clear. If Brent Venables had not recruited Jiren Canik to play linebacker specifically, because that's the only circumstance in which Brent Venables himself would have been recruiting Jiren Canik would not have wound up in Oklahoma sooner.
He'd be at Clemson right now, right?
Well, I don't even know if he'd be at Clemson. He came to Oklahoma because he loves Brent Venables.
Mm-hmm. Well, true. Yeah, you're right.
And so if Brent Venables wasn't involved in Canik's recruitment, you can forget that guy. He's never coming here. Probably be at Kansas State or something. Or he'd have gone to Oregon to play football and run track. I don't know. But the reason Jiren Canik's here in the first place is because Brent Venables saw him out in Hays, Kansas, and decided, you've got what it takes at linebacker. And as it would turn out, Jiren Canik did not have what it took to play linebacker specifically, at least not to the level that Oklahoma needed him to play it at, not to the level that he needed to play it at in order to give himself a shot at the next level. Fortunately, though, he's a freak of an athlete enough that he can pretty effortlessly switch sides of the football and give himself a chance to start at tight end for Oklahoma. And I will say this. I think it's obviously noble that Jiren Canik is willing to change positions for the good of the team. Certainly, perhaps even more so than the good of the individual. But consider for a moment, and I thought this was very apparent in his session last night. He made it very apparent that he was never 100% comfortable at linebacker. It just never felt natural to him there. That was a position, Steely, where despite that reality, despite the fact that he was never comfortable with it, he was playing meaningful snaps as a true freshman. He was starting as a sophomore. He led Oklahoma in tackles in the greatest victory to date of the Brent Venables era, that 2023 victory over Texas. If Jiren Canik was capable of all of that at a position where he didn't fit and he didn't feel that anything came naturally, how much more potential does he have at a position where he does feel comfortable?
What do you think about the people that saying he's more an H-back than a tight end? Do we know if Ben Arbuckle's going to use an H-back? Some?
Look, what I know is what Ben Arbuckle said in his opening statement as Oklahoma's offensive coordinator, which is, we're going to allow the personnel to dictate the scheme. If Jiren Canik proves to be more of an H-back type than a true tight end, and Ben Arbuckle feels he can make a difference as a blocker and a pass catcher, I have absolutely no doubt that they will integrate that into the offense.
There you go. All right, 405-651-3439. Somebody wanted to know about the Jaden O'Neal situation, the Georgia trip. Sooners and Bo Bentley, obviously. We know there's stuff happening there as well.
There is stuff happening. And then in the midst of all of that, Gunny of Stutzman Army simply texted in, Zach Alley is a hoe.
I just saw that. So what do we know on the O'Neal situation, the trip there? Any new updates? The Sooners, again, they're apparently Bo Bentley, Ben Arbuckle really likes him quite a bit, right?
He does.
Jaden O'Neal was a Sooner before Ben Arbuckle got here. Well, a commit.
That is correct.
So, I don't know. I worry about that situation. I know they'd love to get 2, but we'll see. Would you project that it would end up right now still being Jaden O'Neal, ends up in the OU class, signed, sealed, delivered?
Frankly, Steely, if you ask me to go with my gut says Jaden O'Neal winds up elsewhere right now, and Bo Bentley is Oklahoma's quarterback.
Really?
In the 26th cycle.
Even with Jaden O'Neal moving to Mustang?
Yes.
Well, Kevin Sperry played for Carl Albert.
And again, that's not necessarily what the intel suggests, because there's not enough intel yet on Jaden O'Neal's visit to Georgia or his relationship with any other school to confidently say, yeah, he's going to decommit or yeah, he's going to flip. But if you're just asking me what my gut says it winds up being Bo Bentley.
Difference between the two being that is O'Neal a little bit taller? The Bentley,
he's maybe an inch taller.
That's it. So maybe Bentley, maybe a little bit more mobile. Give me what you've seen. What's different about the two quarterbacks?
Yeah, I mean, Jaden O'Neal is more your old school type of guy, right? Absolute rocket of an arm. Can sit back there in the pocket, absolutely dice up a defense, throw with effortless accuracy and precision to all 3 levels. Bo Bentley is more your modern quarterback prospect, is how I've kind of differentiated the two. Bo Bentley is a creator. Bo Bentley is going to get outside the pocket. He's going to make stuff happen off script. He's perfectly comfortable throwing on the run and is quite good at it. He can hurt you with his legs. Again, if you were to watch Bo Bentley's high school tape, it feels like you're watching Jackson Arnold again. Maybe that's not what anybody wants to hear because you got a sour taste in your mouth with Jackson Arnold. But Bo Bentley has a lot of Jackson Arnold vibes to his game.
There you go. All right, and the percentage chance that Oklahoma could land both in the class?
Very low.
10%?
Very low. Yeah, okay, 10%.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. Doug from Norman is back.
Yes, he is. He asks, what makes you think that having Jiren Canik is an asset for OU football? What has he accomplished other than constantly being out of position at linebacker? Again, if you look at what Jiren Canik did in the early days of his linebacking career at Oklahoma,
had a pretty big
he
game
was pretty solid.
in Lincoln against Nebraska,
yeah,
too, right?
Had a good game against Nebraska, had a great game against Texas in 2023, as I mentioned. He has accomplishments as an OU football player. Now, granted, his junior year did not go the way he would have liked it to. It certainly did not go the way Brent Venables and the defensive staff would have liked it to, and it became apparent that, okay, he was close to the end of the line as a linebacker. But the reason I think having Jiren Canik is an asset for OU football is because you're talking about a 6'2", 230-pound freakazoid that ran a 10.27 in the 100 meters in high school and has consistently been laser-timed in the 4.4 neighborhood since he arrived at Oklahoma. Not to mention he's mean as a snake and is going to have absolutely no problem lining up opposite somebody as a blocker and popping them in the mouth over and over and over again. So that's why Jiren Canik is an asset, because he is a good enough athlete that if you stick him in a spot like tight end, he's not going to be a liability. I can't promise you he's going to be a game changer, but he's certainly not going to be a liability.
By the way, if we had the copyrighted music still here in the tool shed, which they took away because we're on YouTube TV, we could be playing Freakazoid into the break. Into the upcoming break, we could be playing Freakazoid. Can we play Freakazoid now?
We can't.
Nope. It's going to be some boring-ass, generic instrumental. When you sell out, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes the things you don't think about go away. Not just your dignity, but the song Freakazoid, end of the break, which would have been perfect right now. All right, 405-651-3439. We got time for a couple more before we hit the break.
Sooner Bub says, Doug and Norman, what have you accomplished besides being annoying? Let's cool it, Sooner Bub. Doug has accomplished a lot. Doug has lived quite a life. You get to know Doug. Maybe he'll be at the 68-team giveaway.
I would bet that he and his son will be there. I would say 85% chance.
A 918 listener says, the first time I've ever agreed with Doug and Norman. Not a knock on Canik, just hasn't been all he was hyped up to be. And look, that's certainly fair. I think if you asked Jiren Canik if he's accomplished everything he thought he was capable of accomplishing through 3 years as a college football player, his answer would quite candidly be no. I think that's objective. Anybody could look at that situation and give you the same verdict. But the great news is he's still got another year. He's still got time to stamp his legacy. He's still got time to finish the chapter, or finish the book, if you will, write the final chapter of his time at Oklahoma. And given the new fit at tight end, like again, Steely, here's what I go back to. Jiren Canik is going to very willingly seek out contact. He's going to be somebody that is not afraid to engage. He's going to be somebody that is not afraid to get down and dirty in the trenches. And so if he can make an impact as a blocker, if he can see snaps because he's a good blocker, I have no doubt that he's going to start to make an impact in the passing game as well, because he's going to stretch the field. If you put him on the field primarily to block, guess what? At a certain point, he's going to run a route. And when he does run a route, I tend to think he's going to create some separation, because I don't know what poor linebacker in the country is capable of keeping stride with Jiren Canik.
It'll be interesting to see if he can transition, become a playmaker for the Sooners at that spot. 5-star Randy says, we head to a break. If Arbuckle can scheme him into the offense, watch out. And Jody also says, Sooner Cowboys also on the YouTube chat. O'Neal looking for an out, probably going to end up like Sperry and not play for OU. Jody says, I don't understand why y'all are the only sports radio station on YouTube that can't play regular music. I don't have the answer to that. Maybe these are big, like, corporate radio entities, you know?
People, okay, before we get to break, I have to say, please stop with this. Somebody in the 405 texted and asked, is Devon Mitchell just a bust? The man literally has 4 full years of eligibility left. He redshirted last year. No, he's not just a bust. You have yet to see him on the football field.
You might see him break out this year. You never know. He certainly looks the part, there's no doubt. All right, let's take a quick timeout right here. 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line is available to you guys and ladies. Plus, YouTube, just search KREF Sports, and we're there as well. Keep it here. We're coming right back on the home of Sooner fans.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
This is Mark Van Hoos, owner of Van Hoos Fence. Van Hoos Fence has years of experience and proven superior performance, kind of like a certain head ball coach.
We know Van Hoos Fence offers the best value and service for your residential, commercial, or sports fencing needs. Whether it's a new install or repair work, let Mark and his team at Van Hoos Fence be your trusted resource.
Call us today at 405-735-1167.
Save yourself from Googling it up. Go to vhfence.com. They will work with you in a great way.
Hi, this is Jack Kiker with Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, located in Blanchard, America. My grandfather, Larry Knippelmeyer, tells me everybody deserves to save money. So say goodbye to those pushy big-time dealers with all those add-ons like paint protectors, nitrogen tires, and everything else that they could possibly think of. Then come down to Knippelmeyer Chevrolet, just 15 minutes from OKC or Norman. At Knippelmeyer, we will save you money and make sure you get a good buy from a family-owned dealership that has treated customers like family for over 65 years. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money, they're in the business of taking your money. Hi, this is Will Gosney with Yala Gosney Attorneys at Law. Have you ever had an insurance claim and thought, wow, I really am in good hands, or these folks truly are treating me like a neighbor? Well, that's where we can help. We'll deal with the stress. We'll get you back to your normal life. So save our number in your phone. And if you're ever hurt in a wreck, call or text us at 405-800-8080. It's 405-800-8080.
Hi, I'm Dr. Tina Floyd, your Norman School Board President. I'm running to continue representing our students because I believe that every child deserves a quality education and a bright future. As a mother of Norman Public School graduates, I know we need strong leadership to prioritize students so that all students can succeed. I'd be honored to earn your vote on April 1st. Visit floydfornorman.com to learn more.
Paid for and authorized by Tina Floyd for Norman School Board.
March is here, and the home of Sooner fans is ready to make the best 68-team giveaway better than ever again this year. Join us Monday, March 17th for the Refs' 24th annual 68-team giveaway. Live at Buffalo Wild Wings off of 19th Street and more from noon to 7 as we make this year's 68-team giveaway bigger and better with more ways to win than ever before. Come to the home of wings, beer, and sports and sign up in person for a chance to get a team from the field of 68. The better your team does in the tournament, the better your prize. And even members of the Ref Army who don't get a team get a chance at one of more than 30 instant prizes throughout the event from noon to 7. The Ref's 68-team giveaway is presented by Riverwind Casino. Riverwind Casino. Good times, great rewards. The Ref's 68-team giveaway is also brought to you in part by the Central Oklahoma Buick GMC dealers, Buffalo Wild Wings, Cavens Group, Westwood Family Aquatic Center, Mitchell's Jewelry, First United Bank, Sweat is Free, Sooner Bowl, Tribes Gallery, Gateway Mortgage, and many more. That's the Ref's 24th annual 68-team giveaway on Monday, March 17th at Buffalo Wild Wings of Moore from noon to 7. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans, and your home for the best giveaways this March.
Stand Up to Cancer asked leading cancer researchers to speak about why they do their work.
Two words come to mind for me. One is responsibility, the other is purpose.
It's just so inspiring to do research that impacts human lives.
Stand Up to Cancer has been a critical partner in advancing research for cancer.
Cancer research saves lives.
So please, help us fight in this battle against cancer.
Be a part of the team that ends cancer at standuptocancer.org.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Steelman and Thune Tuesday edition. Tomorrow out at Cavens Group. Wednesdays at Cavens. Fridays at Riverwind. Tough one last night for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They give up 140 points to the Denver Nuggets. It was 67-63 at halftime. The Nuggets outscored the Thunder 73-54 in the second half. In the second half, the Nuggets shoot 67% from the field, 70% from three. Nikola Jokic, 15 of 20 from the floor, 35 points, 18 rebounds, 8 assists. Jamal Murray, who was not great in the game Sunday, was pretty darn good last night with 34. Michael Porter Jr. had 17. Peyton Watson, 4 from 3 for 16. And now the Thunder has to go to Boston coming up tomorrow night at 6:30 on ESPN. They're now a game and a half behind the Cavaliers for the best record in the NBA. So if you're fighting for that home court advantage in the finals, if you can get to the finals, Oklahoma City's a game and a half back. They still have an 11-game lead in the West. An 11-game lead in the West over now second place Denver, with the Nuggets winning at Paycom Palace last night. The Lakers losing. The Lakers are in third, 12 games back. So there you go. Sooner Tino asked me, Steely, did you get to interview Marcus Dupree back in the day? And who are your top 4 interviews from your long Olds career? I did get to interview Marcus Dupree back in the day. I was probably 3 or 4 times. First impression, he was a man-child when he showed up. here's a guy, and if you saw The Best That Never Was, great documentary, 30 for 30. You saw him in Philadelphia, Mississippi playing, and those kids who were playing against him in high school, you basically had an almost 6'3" locomotive coming at you when he broke through the first line of the defense, which was pretty much every play. And then you had to try and tackle this 6'3" train that runs a 4.4 coming at you. Yeah, it wasn't happening. But he was very soft-spoken, kind of shy. He was nice enough. Marcus is back in the Sooner family, which I think is a cool thing. He got some bad advice from a guy named Ken Fairley back in the day. I can still remember that summer when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I can't remember what the title was, but it was a Doug Looney story where Marcus Dupree can't exist with his head coach, because Barry had criticized him for being overweight in the Fiesta Bowl, and he still ran for like 225 yards in that Fiesta Bowl, lost to Arizona State. But I can remember there was some doubt as to whether or not he was going to come back, and then he did come back. I can still see they were over at the, I think it was at the OU track for some reason. Maybe they were running out there. But Switzer coming up, putting his arm around him. See, we're enemies, and Switzer doing Switzer stuff. And then, of course, he left after the Texas game, and the rest is history. But, yeah, he was just soft-spoken, but a nice guy. He didn't have a lot to say at that time. He was just a kid. He looked like a man, but he was still a kid in many ways. Top 4 Rushmore interviews. I mean, all time, not outside of OU, would be Hank Aaron, like one-on-one interviews, not like a press conference. Hank Aaron, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Tom Landry, Mike Ditka. Ditka showed up at the Cowboy Hall of Fame. He was doing some event. I was at Fox at the time. I went and saw Aaron at a card show. I was working here as a kid. I can still remember we each got one-on-ones. Mick Cornett was there. Would be the mayor of Oklahoma City. He was still working in sports at the time, but I can remember Mick was at Channel 5. He talked to Hank Aaron. Then I was next in line. I got a chance to talk to Hank Aaron, but these were one-on-one interviews. Kareem, got to do an hour with him, which was awesome because he was my favorite player before Larry Bird came on the scene. So those are my 2 favorite NBA players outside of Oklahoma City players, Kareem and Larry Bird. And then they'd go at it, of course, in the Lakers-Celtics series. Came to blows one time. And then who was the other one I mentioned? Oh, Tom Landry. He came for an FCA event to Oklahoma City and got a chance to do like 10 minutes with him. So those would be my top 4. That's not a bad top 4, right? Kareem, Hank Aaron, Tom Landry, and Mike Ditka. Ditka was, at the time, he was not smoking the cigar inside the Cowboy Hall of Fame, but he was chewing on it when he walked in. And Ditka was, pretty funny and, being Mike Ditka. Okay, 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. What do we have, Parker?
Travis from California asks, Steely, would you like the NBA if OKC was trash?
I wouldn't watch it nearly as much, and mainly I just watch Thunder games. I would put it – the answer to that question would be I would watch probably some of the playoffs and some of the finals, but the answer is no, not as much. Clearly not as much. And what I love is my wife, she loves watching the Thunder, and she really gets into the games. And it gives her a lot of joy, so that gives me a lot of joy. So we just enjoy watching the Thunder games. She really fell in love with the team with all the barking that J-Dub did, particularly last year. So, but the answer is no. If they were still in tank mode or just an also-ran, the answer would be no. So mainly I am a Thunder fan right now. And I just think, again, I'm still in that stage where – I always thought we were going to be some redneck, hillbilly, Oklahoma City cowtown. And then when we got maps, that changed everything. We thought we went after an NHL team. Thanks to Hurricane Katrina, we ended up with the Hornets and then later the Thunder. But I never thought we would have NBA basketball here, ever. So I still kind of think it's cool myself. NHL, I don't know. AA, the Blazers hockey was great. It was a great show back in the day, but I'm just still stunned because I'm telling you, before maps, there weren't a lot of reasons to go to Oklahoma City. There was nothing there, man. We might take a few trips to Oklahoma City, even back in college and high school, but they were very rare. We would just hang out in Norman. A lot more fun, a lot more to do.
Past my prime on the text line says, the Canik interview was very eye-opening. Everyone should watch it. Hard not to root for him.
He's still a Sooner, no doubt. And
well, I think the best thing he said, the most meaningful thing he said last night was, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he basically said, look, I want to be great individually, but more than that, I want Oklahoma to be great.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot one interview, Parker. It just popped in my head. Nolan Ryan.
You interviewed Nolan Ryan?
Nolan Ryan. It was at, my gosh, it was all the way back to, I think it was at the Bricktown Ballpark. Yes, it was at the Bricktown Ballpark. I can't remember why he came here. Got to sit down with Nolan Ryan for about 10 minutes. I was at Fox at the time. I was on TV, believe it or not. And I actually asked him the question. He was great. My radio colleague, Jim Traber, said that you cheated late in your career. And I didn't know if he was going to charge the mound or not, but I just wanted to see what his reaction was going to be. And he got a big grin on his face, and he said, he did, huh? Well, I don't know about that. When he was working with Honeycutt, right? Cutting up the baseball back in his late days with the Rangers. So he just smiled. There was he didn't pull, I didn't get the Robin Ventura treatment. He just smiled, and I think we ended with that question on TV that night. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I used to wear makeup and fine clothing. Not anymore. This is the way to go every day. Okay, 405-651-3439. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line.
588 asks, what's the best interview Uncle ever got to do, though?
I don't know. He only he talks to Sooners only, I think. My guess. The question is, where does he go during the offseason? I have no idea. No idea. I wonder if he's a secret agent or he just disappears.
Mr. 405 says, can't wait till we see the Titan tight end Bauer Sharp versus Jiren Canik matchup in November.
You know, we talked about it the other day. You know that Bauer Sharp's going to have a breakout year for LSU, right? I mean, it's just going to happen. That's the way it always happened, right? Brian from Maryland. What does Brian have to say?
He says, you are right, Steely. There was nothing going down in OKC Bricktown except Spaghetti Warehouse and Bricktown Brewery.
Yeah, Maps was a great situation. Like I said, when I was a kid, if you would have told me, yeah, one day Oklahoma City's going to have an NBA basketball team, I would have thought, yeah, no freaking chance. No way. But we do, and I still think it's pretty awesome.
I'm not really sure what to make of this text from Nick in Sepulpa, but it's a text. He says, I think we need to give John Mateer the nickname Mater from Cars, the movie. Then we give Taylor Tatum the nickname Tater. Then we could have Tater and Mater on the field at once.
Nick, we're going to be suspending you for a week. Your privileges will come back, let's see, at 1:33 on March 18th, my friend. I'm just messing with you. 405. How many people have we booted? There should be a stat. Who is that hillbilly that kept
Ethan Downs Hater. We booted him. We booted Vinnie Paul.
Vinnie Paul got a little, started getting a little too cocky. Did we boot? Is it Johnny Ringo, dude? He's the one who called me. Listen, dear, I'm like, dude, you think I'm gonna let some freaking hillbilly call me? He's one of those. If you know what I mean.
A 405 listener says, let's be honest here. Losing Jaden O'Neal is not just losing him. If we lose him, we're most likely going to lose his wide receiver buddy. I don't understand why the coaching staff is doing this. Well, look, the reason they're doing this, if they're quote-unquote doing this, and look, I don't think they're like actively pushing Jaden O'Neal out. They have no reason to. Their message to Jaden O'Neal could be and should be and has been, we're going to take 2 quarterbacks.
See who wants to compete.
Yeah. You got one of these spots. You don't have to worry about anything, but we're going to bring in a second guy. They're not telling Jaden O'Neal to kick rocks, and they're certainly not telling Daniel Odom, his wide receiver buddy, to kick rocks. But at the end of the day, if Jaden O'Neal decides to pack up and go somewhere else, and Daniel Odom decides the same, well, you got Bo Bentley, obviously, that at that point would be highly likely to wind up in OU's class. And Daniel Odom, look, he plays wide receiver, and he's a good wide receiver, but he's not a special wide receiver, right? He's not like a next-level guy that you feel like you can't lose. Realistically speaking, all of the wide receivers that Oklahoma is recruiting right now, none of those guys are guys you feel like you have got to have or the world will crumble.
Yeah.
Wide receivers these days are kind of a dime a dozen. The guy I think has the most special potential of the group is Mason James, who happens to be right up the road at Norman North.
By the way, what are the chances the high school football season is not exactly right around the corner? What are the chances that Jaden O'Neal's like playing high school football in Athens, Georgia in the fall?
I don't think he's going to be playing high school football in Athens, Georgia, but I will say this. There is precedent for a quarterback moving to be closer to the school that he's committed to, only to sign with another school. And I'm not talking about Kevin Sperry. You remember this happened with Dylan Raiola, too. Dylan Raiola, when he was committed to Georgia, moved from Arizona.
That's correct,
to Georgia. And where does he sign, Steely?
Georgia.
No, he signed with Nebraska.
He didn't commit to Georgia? Or
he committed to Georgia, but he signed with Nebraska.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. This era of college football, I mean, it's just we got to get a hold of this somehow. It's they are potentially going to kill the sport that we love. I am thinking Putin's behind this too somehow. Must be. If we kill American football, we kill the country.
That was a pretty good Russian voice. How do we know you're not a plant?
You never know.
That might have sounded more natural than your actual voice.
All right, we're going to take a break. 405-651-3439, Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line. Final results coming up. And, Alan, we've got your Super Chat coming up next as well. Keep it here on the home of Sooner fans.
Hey, Sooner fans. This is Jiren Canik, and you're listening to The Ref, the home of Sooner fans.
What's up, Ref Army? It's Dusty Dvorak, and I'm back. I'm excited to be back with The Ref and cannot wait to help bring the home of Sooner fans the best Sooner coverage. Catch me every Tuesday and Wednesday during the 10 a.m. hour of The Plank Show as I cut it up with Plank and Josh about everything in the world of Sooner and college football. That's every Tuesday and Wednesday on The Plank Show, and there's only one place to hear it. The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Download the KRF app today to listen from anywhere.
Did you know there's a place where you can get good neighbor service and surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance? Yep, and that place is, ta-da, State Farm. Here's the deal. State Farm agent Cindy Nasher is your go-to agent in Norman for the service you deserve at the price you want. So stop shopping around. State Farm agent Cindy Nasher has you covered. Call 405-307-0500 for surprisingly great rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
They say if you don't like the weather in Oklahoma, wait 5 minutes and check it again. Nope, not there yet. Ah, that's more like it. Being comfortable is important, and if it's -5 degrees or 100 degrees, Norman Air has you covered. Our impeccable quality and unbeatable service is what sets us apart from our competitors. It's just part of our mission to keep Oklahoma comfortable. Visit normanair.com for all your heating, air, plumbing, and electrical needs. Norman Air, service to the max.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Hornsdown Apple Pie Liquor is not your grandma's apple pie unless your grandma was a moonshiner with a PhD in flavor. This all-natural, 6-time distilled spirit is sure to light up any party, tailgate, or special occasion. Whether toasting a touchdown or yelling at the ums because Spike was safe, Hornsdown Apple Pie is the perfect drink for celebrating the highs and lows of life in Oklahoma. Hornsdown celebrates all of you who cheer from the berm, tailgate, on Lindsay Street, and wreak havoc on social media. You can find our red bottle at your local liquor store or search for your closest location at drinkhornsdown.com.
If you love them enough to listen to them practice the same song on tuba,
please be done.
Over and over and over and over and over, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Sounds good, honey.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
The Mont invites you to come by and enjoy our high-quality food and drinks in our historic atmosphere. The Mont has won numerous awards, including Best Restaurant in Norman, Best Appetizer for our great queso, Best Exotic Drink for the original swirl, the Best Patio Dining for our beautifully landscaped patio. Come see the Town Tavern OU football scoreboards dating back to 1947. We'll see you at the Mont on the corner of Boyd and Classen, or call us at 329-3330.
We are back. Tomorrow we'll be at Caven's Group, as we are each and every Wednesday. Friday. Riverwind Casino. Great promotions happening at Riverwind for this month. Their marketing creative team does an unbelievable job over there. Every single month they've got all these cool promotions, and this month is no exception. They've got the big giveaways happening, of course, on Friday nights, which are always very popular, and I encourage you to go out and play with your wild card today if you can, and get some extra entries on your wild card, and then you'll have a better chance. Doesn't mean you won't possibly hear your name called anyway, but it'll give you a better shot to hear your name called in the Friday night drawings in the 80K Golden Clovers giveaway. They also have the 4-Leaf Fever promotion, 30K. That's happening through March 15th, coming up this weekend, when your share of 30K in cash bonus play and prizes there. The 30K Shamrock Surprise, when your share of 30K in cash and bonus play in hot seat drawings. The next hot seat drawing for this promotion will be happening on a Saturday night, March 22nd, and the 30K Clubs and Clovers promotion. You can win your share of 30K in chips Monday through Wednesdays throughout the month of March. Bonnie Raitt will be in concert this weekend at the Showplace Theater on Saturday night. It was a great crowd in a fantastic show, I hear, put on by 38 Special. Saw our man Sooner Magic out there tweeting out some pictures of that show. And Chicago will be there on a Friday night, March 28th. In April, Boys to Men in America. In May, Patti LaBelle and the Randy Rogers Band. We also have Beats and Bites on the way for 2025. First show in June will be Josh Turner and Edwin McCain. In July 19th, to be exact, Rick Springfield on a Saturday night. And a fireworks show afterwards. In August, Kansas and Starship. I like that lineup right there, August 9th. And then in September 5th on a Friday night, Gary Allen will be the final show of Beats and Bites 2025. Now, all of these tickets go on sale Friday, April 4th for the Outdoor Summer Music and Food Festival, Beats and Bites 2025, heading into its 9th year. So thanks to our friends, as always, at Riverwind Casino. All right, this morning, Stephen A. Smith was asked, did last night's Nuggets win? Make a big statement for Denver for the postseason and the MVP race. And Stephen A. said this.
Unless SGA falls off the map, I mean, it's over for me. It's no way. I'm just not going to let people do that to SGA this year, okay? The brother has been all world. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, in the loss last night, he still had 25 and 7, I believe. He had 40 the day before. I think Jalen Williams went down for them last night as well. That didn't help matters. But in the end, if they're healthy, based off of what I've seen from Oklahoma City this year, I don't view this as a statement game at all. I look at exactly what Big Perk said. It might have been some kind of statement from Jokic like, y'all better recognize who the hell I am. Don't forget about me in this MVP race. Fine, we won't forget to put you in second place because that's where the hell you're going to be when this season is over for league MVP honors. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that dude this year.
There you go, Stephen A. this morning. All right. Alan, we appreciate your super chat, by the way. And Alan said, not bothered if someone goes elsewhere to avoid competition. What do you think?
100%.
Yeah,
and the Krabby Sooner on
absolutely.
the text line says, that would be cold-blooded if we don't take O'Neal after he moved here from the other side of the world. Let's be clear here. There is no scenario in which Oklahoma would not take Jaden O'Neal, in which they would choose not to take Jaden O'Neal's commitment. If, like, let's say Bo Bentley committed to Oklahoma right now. Let's say, boom, notification hit your phone. Bo Bentley has committed to Oklahoma. Oklahoma's not going to turn around and tell Jaden O'Neal, well, thanks, but no thanks. You better go find somewhere else. No. They're going to tell him, look, man, we still love you. We still love that you're locked in here. Get here and compete. Prove you're better than Bo Bentley.
Do you think that Michael Hawkins would still be here if Jackson Arnold hadn't struggled as much and if he hadn't played last year?
Yes.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And I believe that also.
And look, again, man, like if you really are a program guy, the presence of competition, even competition within your own recruiting class, should not ward you off. It didn't for Michael Hawkins. Again, boom, there's your example right there. Go back to the 2024 class. Oklahoma had planned to take one quarterback. They had planned for quite some time to take one quarterback. When Michael Hawkins committed, he was under the impression that he was going to be the only quarterback in the class. Then not too long thereafter, Oklahoma reevaluated their roster and decided, you know what? For the sake of depth, we should probably take another in the 2024 class. They asked Michael Hawkins, or I should say they told Michael Hawkins, hey, we're going to start recruiting a second QB. Are you going to be okay with that? And he said, yeah, bring it on. Whoever you bring in, I'll compete with them. I'll beat them out. Oklahoma went and landed Brendan Zurbrugg, who himself was perfectly fine with coming in and competing and earning whatever he got. And in the end, guess what? Hawkins was better than Zurbrugg. He's still around. Zurbrugg transferred to Utah. Is what it is.
Yeah, Utah. I was trying to think where he went. We had him in here. I can still remember him coming in here, courtesy of our friends at One Oklahoma. By the way, Eric in the OC on the YouTube chat, what about the no-visit policy?
What about the no-visit policy? I mean, I would think we know experientially by now that it's flexible.
Yeah.
It was flexible for Michael Fasusi. And I think that's just kind of a natural consequence of the NIL era and the era in which we live in college football, right? You can't hold guys hostage and say, no, you can't go check out another school. If they really have a mind to go check out another school, especially if they're of the caliber of a Michael Fasusi or a Jaden O'Neal, you're not going to tell them, hey, if you go visit that other school, don't bother coming back here.
Yeah.
It's more so like it's a case-by-case deal. If it's some random 3-star in the class, like let's say back in the day when Ashton Sanders was committed to Oklahoma, if he had decided, you know what, I want to go visit Cal before I make my final decision on signing day, Oklahoma at that point would have probably said, okay, man, go to Cal. Forget it. We're done here. But if you're dealing with a 5-star offensive lineman or you're dealing with a top 10 quarterback prospect in the country, there's naturally going to be a little bit of wiggle room there.
Now, is Ashton Cozart the only real victim of the no-visit policy?
That I can recall, yes.
Where is he now? Is he at SMU?
Well, no, Lane Jenkins You remember Lane Jenkins?
I don't remember Lane Jenkins.
The Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line remembers Lane Jenkins. He was a junior college defensive end that was originally from Illinois. I think he was up at Hutch, or maybe it was Butler in Kansas. And he committed to Oklahoma, and then he visited Illinois. And when he visited Illinois, the Oklahoma staff called him up and said, okay, just go to Illinois. Forget this.
Yeah, I just don't remember that name. Kozar
He was
at
committed to
SMU?
Oklahoma for like 6 days. Lane Jenkins was.
Okay. Where's Kozart? SMU?
He's at SMU now. Yes, went to Oregon, transferred after a year to SMU.
Is there a chance that SMU is going to turn into a powerhouse with all the money they have?
Yeah, there's very much a chance.
Man.
A national powerhouse, I don't know.
All they did was
but
legalize the Pony Express days, pretty much.
I don't know if they'll be a national powerhouse, but they could be a powerhouse in the ACC, no question.
All the way back to the days of Eric Dickerson, Craig James, Lance McElhaney. Holy cow. Ron Meyer, and then who came in? Was it Bobby Collins who came in, I believe? I still remember the video where Dale Hansen got those SMU administrators on video. Next day, they gone. Their history. You ever seen that? Have you watched many 30 for 30s? Do you even know what 30 for 30 is?
How dumb do you think I am?
Well, you're young. You're a young whippersnapper. Why would you watch anything that old?
He might think I'm illiterate.
I think you're a Russian plant, but no, I don't think
Of course, I know what 30 for 30s are.
Okay, sorry.
I haven't watched all of them.
You need to watch Pony Excess is what it was.
Okay.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I think Steely is under the impression I live under a rock.
I'm just old, and sometimes my brain, it doesn't work well. Just saying.
Drew from Flower Mound says, didn't Cortland Guillory visit Texas as well while committed? Yes, he did. He did. Didn't flip to Texas, but he visited, and Oklahoma was cool with that.
Isn't that a double standard, or do you just want? No, the deal is the guys you really want, I guess, you can be cool with some visits. But if it's a marginal guy that maybe you think, we can get it somebody else, it's pretty clear there. Now, the Kozart deal seemed to be a message right off the bat, though, didn't it?
Yes, and that was, those were the early days when Brent Venables was still learning on the job, right? Jesse G says, Parker is only old enough to know 10 for 10.
It's pretty good. What is the best 30 for 30? Brian and the Boz, our man Wallace Marsh, executive producer. He's got the one coming up. Should be, I would believe, on the SEC Network maybe this summer on the Wishbone, which would be good. The Best That Never Was on Marcus Dupree, excellent. The Guru of Go, Paul Westhead and Loyola Marymount. Pony Excess is pretty darn good, though. Most of them are really, really good. But if I had to name 4, those would probably be my 4.
Past My Prime says, in other news, sounds like Burke's magic foot doctor didn't fix him in one day after all. Yeah, he was in a little boot yesterday.
What? Son of a... Are you
He was
kidding me?
still... Listen, he was still a limited participant in practice. It wasn't like he was Eli Bowen on crutches. But, yeah, guys are banged up right now.
I'm starting to wonder if this is all a scam. It's like the guy who shows up in court with the neck brace trying to collect the insurance money or whatever. That's all this is now. Hey, I just really want to play. Fired up to play for you guys next season. How about 200,000 more? Well, okay, I guess we can give you 200,000 more. Okay. Put me back in that footcast. Yeah. Do you have the footcast? Okay, yeah, bring it over here. I just sprained my ankle. I don't think that is happening, but, you never know. There got to be some NIL shysters out there, too. They're all over Twitter, right? People fooling people all the time.
That could be your retirement venture, being an NIL agent.
No, I don't think so.
A handler.
Yeah, right. My post-radio career will be involved sitting on a couch, making a few trips here and there, maybe doing a little fishing. And hopefully one day, grabbing the button on this instrument right here.
He's referring to his cell phone.
That's right. If you're on YouTube, I'm holding up my cell phone, going to X/Twitter, and hitting delete accounts and saying it go away forever. So I don't have to deal with the attention-seeking clowns out there in the world of Twitter. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an instrument of evil. It is destroying our society and your children. Beware. Take care. All right, thank you to our friends at Hightower Clinical. Cavens tomorrow. Riverwind Friday. We'll see ya.